A judge has sent singer D4vd's murder case toward trial. The case concerns the death of 14-year-old Celeste Rivas Hernandez, and the immediate question is not whether guilt has been proved. It has not. The question is why a Los Angeles judge found sufficient evidence for the prosecution's case to continue. The Los Angeles County District Attorney's Office says D4vd was ordered to stand trial. Reuters and other major outlets report that the case involves murder and mutilation charges. Prosecutors' allegations, however serious, are not findings of fact. D4vd is presumed innocent unless and until convicted. Over the next few minutes, we separate the court's narrow ruling from the evidence prosecutors presented, the details that remain disputed, and the questions a trial, not headlines, would have to answer. The central name in this case is Celeste Rivas Hernandez. Reporting identified her as 14 years old. The accused is singer D4vd. The Los Angeles County District Attorney's Office publicly described the case as one in which he had been ordered to stand trial for murdering and dismembering the teenager. That is the prosecution's framing of the case, not a verdict. The public record supplied for this documentary begins at a consequential procedural point, a preliminary hearing. This was not the trial itself. It was the stage at which a judge assessed whether the prosecution had shown enough for the charges to move forward. AP, CNN, NBC News, the BBC, Reuters, and the District Attorney's Office all reported the resulting decision in substantially the same terms. D4vd must stand trial. That convergence matters. It establishes that a judge made a real court ruling, rather than that a rumor or an untested social media claim had gained momentum. But the ruling has a defined limit. It does not decide the ultimate truth of every allegation. It does not resolve credibility conflicts that may arise at trial, and it does not substitute for a jury's verdict. Reuters characterized the charges as murder and mutilation. The district attorney's office used the more graphic word dismembering in its announcement. Those descriptions point to the same severe prosecutorial theory, but the careful distinction remains essential. Charges state what the government alleges it can prove. They do not establish that it has proved it. The chronology supplied by the reviewed reporting is therefore concise but clear. First, prosecutors brought a case involving Celeste's death. Next, they presented evidence at a preliminary hearing. Their presentation included attention to reported blood stains, according to AP's account of the hearing. Other reporting said text messages concerning Celeste and an abortion were presented. Then came the ruling. Enough evidence existed for the case to proceed to trial. That sequence explains the title. Ordered to stand trial is a court consequence with enormous stakes, but it is not the end of the criminal process. The case now moves from a screening hearing, where the prosecution's showing was tested at a limited stage, toward a fuller contest over evidence and responsibility. There is another reason to slow down here. The reviewed materials identify headline-level evidence themes, but they do not provide a complete trial record, a final determination of what happened, or a verdict. They also do not provide this documentary with a detailed, quoted defense account. What they do provide is the prosecution's route forward and the evidentiary issues that put it there. At the preliminary hearing, prosecutors focused on evidence they said connected their theory of the case to the charge. AP's reporting specifically described prosecutors zeroing in on bloodstains as they argued that D4vd should be tried in the killing of Celeste Rivas Hernandez. That is a meaningful detail because physical evidence can become a central point of conflict in a criminal case. But the source-supported statement must stop there. The reviewed material establishes that prosecutors emphasize bloodstains during the hearing. It does not, in the information provided here, establish every location, test, interpretation, or conclusion prosecutors sought to draw from them. Those questions belong to the evidence record, and ultimately, to the adversarial process at trial. The district attorney's office says the case concerns the murder and dismemberment of a 14-year-old girl. Reuters reported murder and mutilation charges. These are among the most serious allegations in criminal law, which makes precision more important, not less. The government is alleging criminal conduct. The court has permitted the case to advance. Neither development amounts to a conviction. Reporting also introduced a separate, intensely personal thread. NBC News reported that text messages presented in connection with the case showed that the teenager had an abortion. The existence of that reported evidence may matter to the prosecution's narrative, to the defense's response, or to neither once the full context is tested. The supplied reporting does not authorize a conclusion about motive, timing, causation, or what any message proves. That limit is not evasive. It is the difference between reporting what was presented and claiming to know why it happened. A text message can be evidence. It can also require authentication, context, interpretation, and challenge. The preliminary hearing ruling did not turn those unanswered questions into settled facts. CNN's reporting described the hearing as shedding new light on the investigation into the teenager's killing. That phrase captures the procedural shift. Before the hearing, much of the public discussion centered on the fact that a well-known young singer faced an extraordinary accusation. During the hearing, reporting began identifying elements of the prosecution's evidentiary presentation, bloodstains, and messages concerning an abortion. Yet the new information did not erase the burden facing prosecutors. They still must pursue the charges they brought. The judge's decision means their presentation cleared the threshold required to continue. It does not mean every witness has been believed beyond challenge. It does not mean every expert conclusion, if any is offered later, has been accepted. And it does not mean a final fact finder has decided D4vd committed the alleged acts. The wording of the official announcement also matters. It says D4vd was ordered to stand trial for murdering and dismembering Celeste. In a prosecutor's release, such language expresses the office's accusation and its theory. For narration, the legally accurate phrasing is that the district attorney's office alleges those acts and that the case has been ordered forward for trial. The difference may sound technical until the stakes become clear. A preliminary hearing can decide whether a case continues. A trial is where the evidence is subjected to a broader contest and where the question of criminal responsibility is decided. The current ruling answers the first question. It does not answer the second. There is also a human reality that legal vocabulary can obscure. Celeste Rivas Hernandez was 14. The case is not merely about a celebrity defendant, dramatic headlines, or internet speculation. It concerns the death of a child, and it places the burden on the court system to distinguish evidence from inference, allegation from proof, and public attention from legal accountability. The prosecution's presentation has now established the frame of the coming case. Allegations of murder and mutilation, reported attention to bloodstains, and reported text message evidence involving an abortion. What remains unknown from the reviewed material is just as consequential. It does not supply a complete account of the defense's factual position, the full scope of testimony, or the final evidence a trial court will hear. That is why the next development must be read narrowly. The judge's ruling was a significant win for prosecutors at this stage. It was not a finding that D4vd is guilty. The law still requires the case to be tested where the charges can be contested in full. The clearest documented response in the reviewed record is institutional, not rhetorical. The Los Angeles County District Attorney's Office announced that David had been ordered to stand trial. That release reflects the prosecution's position. Its office believes the case should proceed on allegations involving Celeste Rivas Hernandez's death and alleged dismemberment. The court's response was narrower. According to reporting by AP, Reuters, the BBC, NBC News, and CNN, a Los Angeles judge ruled that David must stand trial. CNN described the judge as finding enough evidence to go to trial. That finding is the legal consequence established by the supplied sources. It carries the case forward, but it does not determine guilt. That distinction is more than a disclaimer. It shapes how every earlier detail should be understood. The bloodstains highlighted in AP's hearing coverage were part of a prosecutorial effort to satisfy the judge that the case could continue. The reported text messages covered by NBC News were also part of a public account of material presented around the case. Neither item, standing alone in a headline summary, tells the full story a trial would have to assess. The reviewed source material does not supply a quoted public denial, a detailed defense statement, or a full account of defense arguments for this narration. It would be inaccurate to invent one, or to infer a response from silence in the material provided. What is documented is the legal posture. David faces the prosecution's allegations, has been ordered to stand trial, and remains presumed innocent unless convicted. That absence of a supplied detailed defense response also highlights why preliminary hearing coverage demands restraint. Journalists reported what prosecutors emphasized and what the judge decided at that stage. But a criminal case is not resolved by the most vivid item reported from a hearing. Its final outcome depends on the evidence admitted, the challenges to that evidence, the governing legal instructions, and the eventual decision maker. The ruling is still consequential for both sides. Prosecutors have cleared a major procedural barrier. They now have a case that can proceed toward trial. For David, the allegations remain live in court rather than ending at the preliminary stage. For Celeste's family and community, the ruling means the judicial process continues without supplying final resolution. It also explains the careful language used by major news organizations. Their reports say the singer will stand trial, or that the way has been cleared for trial. They do not say he has been convicted. The BBC's reporting from outside court likewise centered on the judge's decision, not a declaration of guilt. The official release and the news reports therefore agree on the outcome while serving different roles. The district attorney announces and argues the government's case. News organizations report the hearing and its result. The judge's order decides only whether the prosecution's showing was sufficient for this stage. A trial, if it proceeds, is where competing accounts receive the fuller scrutiny the preliminary ruling does not provide. That brings the story back to its central contradiction. The allegations are grave, the reported evidence themes are emotionally charged, and the court has allowed the case to continue. Yet the legal question of guilt remains unresolved. Those facts can coexist, and responsible coverage has to hold all of them at once. What is known is specific. A Los Angeles judge ordered singer D4vd to stand trial in a case involving the death of 14-year-old Celeste Rivas Hernandez. Prosecutors allege murder and mutilation. The district attorney's office described alleged dismemberment. Reporting from the preliminary hearing says prosecutors emphasized bloodstains, and NBC News reported text message evidence concerning an abortion. What is not known from the reviewed material is equally important. There is no verdict. The supplied sources do not provide a complete trial record, a final finding on the prosecution's evidence, or a detailed quoted defense response for this account. They do not resolve how a future trial will assess the reported evidence. The court has made a threshold ruling. The case may proceed. It has not made the ultimate ruling. D4vd remains presumed innocent unless convicted. The next chapter will be defined not by online certainty, but by what is presented and tested in court. For now, the verified story is a case moving forward, a teenager at its center, and legal questions that remain open. Subscribe to Fabulivox for more documentaries.